Hello, my name is Shannon Zeccola, and I am going to show you my Deck.Toys activity that I created for multiplication for my third grade students. So the purpose of this screencast is to provide an overview of my Deck.Toys math activity and defend how it meets the criteria for the project and rubric for the grade of an A, receiving 30 points. So I created this breakout escape type of game where the scenario was that the students were trapped in a haunted house and had to solve numerous multiplication problems in order to escape. So when the students would come in to start, they would go click on the place marker for the entry, and it has the lock key on it right here. And the students would have to answer the question that you see right here, which is how many students are in our classroom, and they would have to type in the number 24 in order to start the activity. So that will get them started. And then they will see a message here that shows the picture of the haunted house, and it says, this is where you'll start your Deck.Toys activity. You're stuck in a haunted house, can't find your way out. Complete each activity while practicing your multiplication facts to help you escape. So they'll see that first, and then they would go on to their first level, which is a presentation with content in it for them. So the learning goals for this lesson, the lesson itself is about multiplication for third grade students. It is a good review towards the end of our multiplication unit prior to an assessment. There are numerous slides and videos with presentations for information. If we go into the first presentation here, you will see that the objective is listed at the beginning of each slide set. So this objective is multiply numbers within 100 fluently. So you'll see the objective is stated first. Then if we go through, there is a multimedia component that is a video about what is multiplication for the students to watch. They go on to use a multiplication chart. So then we have the multiplication chart here as well for them to use. And there's directions on each slide here. It says the resource will help you advance through to escape the haunted house. Moving through the slides, there is multiplication facts here. And this has a slide app on it as well for them to record answers in their math notebooks and then upload pictures. And then at the end here, if we scroll down, you'll see that there is a slide app here, which is rate how you feel about multiplication. Are you feeling good or are you not so sure? And they would have to take the poll in order to get out of that first presentation slide. So there's numerous kinds of presentations with various information. And again, like I said, the objective is stated at the beginning of each lesson. So this is another lesson, another objective stated first. So this, with putting the objectives at the beginning of each set of slides, the learner is aware of what they are learning and what the goal is. And these objectives are examples of how the learning goals are met throughout the lesson and how the objectives are developmentally appropriate and align with the Common Core state standards. So this is yet another objective, and then go through all the different songs that I have that are recorded and uploaded for the students to listen to. And then again, another slide app is incorporated here at the end of this one where the students are to record themselves singing one of the multiplication songs that they just listened to. So there are slide apps incorporated into each one of the learning activities. So the theme for this lesson was about multiplication, but it was centered around the problem of being stuck in a haunted house, and they have to utilize their math skills to help them escape. Given that my class has been working on multiplication since the beginning of the year, they will be transitioning to a different topic right around Halloween time. Therefore, I thought a haunted house theme would interest them and keep them motivated to try to find the answers to unlock all the levels and escape. Learner choice. I designed this lesson to be non-sequential. So while you start at the top and you start right here and you can only go one place to the presentation, from that next place, you could go to several different choices. So there's multiple different pathways after this first level here. You could go down to problem solving, you could go over to flashcards, you could go down to multiplication song. However, there are several locked activities that the students would have to, they might get to, and it might be locked until they go a different way to find one of the keys they may need in order to unlock that certain activity. There is, like I said, a lot of choices for the students as far as pathways. The lesson could have been done in a sequential manner, but that would fit the criteria for a lower grade. The non-sequential pathway also provides students with choices and gives them power. They love having choices. Lessons can be differentiated by easily turning the activity into a sequential linear activity. So if I were to have a group of students that I needed to accommodate that would struggle with this non-sequential order, I could easily make it into a linear pathway for them. Learner engagement and assessment. There are a variety of learning tasks that had to be completed, such as place markers, slide apps, drawing. Students had to do voice recordings. They had to do study sets of flashcards, matching games. There was a variety of activities exposed to, and for the grade of an A, we had to have a minimum of 6 learning tasks total, as well as a slide app on each activity. So if you see here, we start up here with this place marker, and then there's a presentation, multiplication song with multiple slides in there as I showed you, problem solving, and within this one, again, the objective is stated first. Each slide has directions for the students. This one has a text box. You go through each slide here, and they have numerous problems. And at the end, they'll rate how hard these questions were with a poll. So each learning task has a slide app. And if you notice here, this one has a lock. They have to answer what 3 times 5 equals in order to open that activity. And then this slide also, this learning task here has the objective first. On this one, rate on a scale of 1 star through 5, how comfortable you feel drawing arrays now. So there's detailed directions also within each activity to make sure that the students understand what is expected of them. Here's another slide app, draw an array. So slide apps are incorporated into each activity there for the students. And then there's the directions, the rubric stated no more than 2 study sets, which I used matching and flashcards. So if you go into the flashcards, I made sure that this direction popped up first before they got started so they know exactly what they needed to do. And then you would go in and study the flashcards, go through each one. And so that was no more than 2 study sets. Let's go back here. So that's there, and then the other study set was the matching activity down here, and this one also has a lock, the gold key lock, because the rubric stated that there needed to be 2 locks in order to obtain the grade of an A. So there are 2 locks incorporated into this Deck.Toys activity. I used various slide apps. Like I said, the locks for entry, quick polls, upload, draw, text box, treasure keys, multiple choice questions, and as well as photos. One of the last activities has the students taking a screenshot of an activity that is linked, that takes them to a Google Doc that they would need to complete. And then they would have to upload the screenshot. So I use numerous slide apps. And as far as assessments, there was a variety of activities where students had to submit their answers, as well as the final activity that I just described, where students have to upload the screenshot of their final assignment that they complete on that Google Doc. And I also used, as I said, the lock features, because this I feel like will really excite the students and keep them engaged within the lesson to work towards the goal and unlock all the levels. And as I said, the criteria is to have at least 2 sets of locks for an A. So I made sure to include at least 2 sets of locks. Navigation around the Deck.Toys activity. I made sure that there were specific directions given at each level, telling students exactly what they needed to do in order to move on. At the beginning of the study set, there's a message that pops up like I showed you that tells the learner what they need to do to complete the activity. And then down here is where we go over, there's some more multimedia incorporated here with a video. And then this is where the students would work on an external activity. This links them to the Google Doc. Then they would take a screenshot of their results page and then return here to submit it with the upload app, which I put up here. So that's one of their final activities that they need to do. And then after they complete that, they can head to the exit. The exit is locked. So for their final question to get them out of the haunted house, they have to kind of circle back to, in the beginning, they were asked how many students are in their class and had to enter the number 24. So now to escape the house, they have to do some multiplication. The question says there's 24 students in our class. What is this number doubled? And then in parentheses, it says 24 times 2. They would have to answer 48 in order to get to the exit, where it congratulates them that they escaped the haunted house and a job well done. Final part of the criteria for an A is the Rationale Worksheet that is required, and that is here. So it has your name, title of the lesson, which is the multiplication math haunted house. It says that this lesson is designed for mixed ability, heterogeneously grouped of 24 third grade students, focuses on multiplication, numerous strategies that can be utilized to solve multiplication problems, talks about some accommodations that might need to be put in place depending upon the group of students, some that have visual needs, some that have auditory needs. There's the speaker button throughout all the activities where students can have them read to them. Additional accommodation might be necessary for technology needs. Some students may struggle with the navigation of the Deck.Toys activity, so there might need to be some accommodations there. As I mentioned earlier, some students that really struggle with it might need to have that differentiation where the activity is changed into a linear activity instead of the non-sequential form that I have it in now. Directions are provided at each slide activity. It helps assist in making sure the students understand what is expected of them. So then on this sheet also, it goes through the learning goals, the objectives for third grade multiplication within operations and algebraic thinking. And again, those objectives are listed at the beginning of each slide set. Down here will be the URL for the Deck.Toys lesson. And then after I complete the screencast, the URL for the screencast will go right in here. And this Rationale Worksheet will be, it will be uploaded onto my YouTube drive. And then after that, anybody can go right in, click here, see the Deck.Toys lesson, as well as watch the screencast. So as you can see, all the requirements have been met within this activity for the grade of an A. Thank you so much.